What's going on, everyone? Spartan Alphazulu here, bringing you more underused action and a breakdown of Infernape, the flame Pokemon. I know that's kind of lame. He's a freaking awesome flame monkey, fighting and fire typing, giving him some pretty awesome typing. And he's always been an awesome Pokemon ever since he was introduced. And as the generations went on, he's kind of fallen between OU and UU. But here in the Sun and Moon tiers, he's stuck in the UU tier. But he is still an awesome Pokemon. He still has very good stats. And we're going to break down my Infernape. And my Infernape is more of a pivot tempo user. 252 attack, 252 speed, 4 HP, holding a Choice Scarf. Choice Scarf putting his speed at 519, making him a pretty fast Pokemon, but he doesn't outspeed everything in the tier. Looking at his stats, 294 HP, 307 attack, 178 defense, 191 special attack, 178 special defense with a speed of 346. And this is with a Jolly nature. If you're going to have a sticky web user, you could maybe go Adamant and maximizing his attack a little bit more. Or another way to roll with Infernape, he's a special attacker. There is a nasty plot set out there, and it works really well. Or you can even go mixed attacker, because there's a mixed attacking set out there, and his special attack is not half bad. If you go with a naive nature, you can maybe throw Fire Blast on him or Flamethrower if you don't want to, risk the odds of missing out on attacks. But he is a very versatile Pokemon, and I'm actually, to be honest, I'm upset he hasn't seen a Mega Form yet, along with the Gen 2 starters, because I feel like he is a good Pokemon, but if he got a Mega Form, he would just jump up in usage, because his typing is very good. His move library is just amazing. His stats are not half bad. I really feel like Infernape deserves a Mega, and it just sucks that they're kind of not doing the Megas, or maybe even discontinuing the Megas right now, because I would love to see more Mega Pokemon. I really would. His ability is Iron Fist, making punching moves deal more damage. So my Infernape's moveset is Flare Blitz, U-Turn, Close Combat, and Thunder Punch. And I know Smogon says to go with Gunk Shot for those fairy types and maybe grass types, but you don't really need Gunk Shot against grass types because he's a fire type Pokemon. So I went ahead and went with Thunder Punch over Gunk Shot. And the reason why I went with Thunder Punch is because most of the people I battle, I'm running into Mantines, and Mantine just laughs at Infernape all day, unless you throw Thunder Punch on it, hitting it for ×4 weakness and just surprising the heck out of him most of the time, because most people don't see Thunder Punch on an Infernape anymore. But I'm loving it. I haven't tried it out on a Mantine yet, which is very disappointing, because I would love to just surprise my opponent by like switching a Mantine in or switching my Infernape in while they switch into Mantine, and then surprising the heck out of him with a Thunder Punch, taking it out of the match. I'm hoping to get that to get some footage of that one day, because that would just make my that would make my day. That would make my week. But that's just one of the benefits of using Infernape. Is he's awesome. He's an awesome freaking Pokemon. He's a very good pivot tempo user. He has an awesome move library. His stats, just all around an awesome Pokemon. And whenever we get to the battles here, the battles are kind of long. I apologize for that. So just bear with me, because I still want to talk about Infernape a little bit more. Both battles feature Infernape is featured in both battles, and in one of the battles, it's not my Infernape. So I'm kind of going to use my opponent's usage of him to break him down, which is something, I don't think it's something I've ever done before. But in the first match, you're going to see my Infernape, and then in the second match, I also have Infernape, but my opponent also has Infernape. And he's using Infernape very differently than I am, because, like I said, Infernape has multiple uses. There's other ways that you can use him. There's other ways you can monopolize his other advantages, like his special attack and just stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and cut to the chase here, because this is like the longest breakdown I've ever done. So let's cut to the chase and get on with the match. So this first Wi-Fi battle is against someone in my Discord server. He's an awesome freaking Wi-Fi battler, and we battle all the freaking time. I got more battles with him that I need to upload. Sebstrzz+Ryu, and looking at his UU team, Goblin, Tula, Lucario, Scizor, Crocodile, Haxorus, and Altaria. So Altaria's got to be the Mega here, and he's going to be trying to rely on some sticky web support. So I went ahead and brought a Defogger, even though I don't like using Defog in the UU tier. In the OU tier, yeah, Defog's awesome. But I feel like in the UU tier, what you really want more is a Rapid Spinner. Because, to be honest, I really don't know why I feel that way. I just feel like in UU, you need a Rapid Spinner more than you do a Defogger. But Defoggers are still nice. They get rid of Entry Hazard. It just kind of sucks because they get rid of your own. So I'm going to go ahead and open up with a U-turn, scoring a critical hit on that Galvantula. And I'm going to get Infernape out of here. to bring in a Bad Vlad, bringing in my Scizor, because in Soviet Russia, bullet punch punches you. I haven't had coffee yet. Leave me alone. So he's going to go ahead and Volt Switch, doing a very considerable amount of damage to my Scizor. I thought he was going to go ahead and do the Sticky Web right off the bat, and I should have gone for the Flare Blitz with Infernape, but I wasn't sure if it was holding a choice, Focus Sash or not. Fire Blast, taking my Scizor out of the match so early in the game. I'm in a bad position here right at the start. Turn like 2 or 3 coming in. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my my freaking hell, Empoleon. Jeez, I used to know these Pokemon like the back of my head. I'm going to bring in Empoleon, and he's going to swap out Altaria, bringing in Krookodile, not even Mega Evolving it. So that kind of makes me wonder if is it the Mega, is it not the Mega, but it's got to be the Mega. I'm going to go ahead and go for the Toxic because I was looking to poison it, putting it on a clock. And I'm going to go ahead and Protect. Usually I would have switched. I don't want to get hit with an Earthquake. But I'm going to Protect and just scout him out and see what he's trying to do. Because maybe, people have different uses for Pokemon. I'm expecting an Earthquake. So let's go ahead and Protect and scout his move out. See what he's going to go ahead and do. And he's going to surprisingly go for the Taunt. I've never seen a Taunt on a Krookodile before. So I'm wondering if I should just keep Empoleon in and go for the Scald and maybe take Krookodile out of the match. Because maybe he thinks I'm going to switch or something. So he's going to go ahead and go for the Taunt again. Luckily enough, that was a big gamble. That was a gamble I felt I shouldn't have done, but I went for it, and I'm going to Scald, and that's going to go ahead and knock this Krookodile back out, getting some little revenge for my Scizor there. And it was a critical hit. I'm pretty sure that crit mattered though, because Empoleon's attack stats aren't that great. This is a strictly defensive utility Empoleon to get rid of entry hazards. He's going to bring in his Haxorus. I don't want to switch out because I don't want him to Dragon Dance. I'm going to Scald and hopefully get the burn. And he's going to Earthquake. So he didn't go for the Dragon Dance, which I expected him to do. Earthquake is not going to take my Empoleon out of the match, living with 25 health, and I'm going to get a Scald off. And let's see if I get the burn. And luckily enough, I do get a burn. But Haxorus is going to nom on that berry, on that Lumberry, and it's going to cure it of its status ailment. So, I at least got rid of the berry, but it sucks because I didn't get rid of the burn. But it could have been worse. He could have gone for the Dragon Dance. Luckily, he did not. He's going to Earthquake again, not wanting to risk getting scalded, and he's going to just take my Empoleon out of the match. So far, this has just been Pokemon for Pokemon. He took out my Scizor. I took out his Krookodile. He took out my Empoleon. I got to get rid of this Haxorus. I don't want Haxorus in here. I'm going to bring in the Pokemon of the hour, Infernape, and let's see what he can do. Hopefully this close combat will do the job, and close combat on Haxorus is going to put it in the red barely with like maybe 4 or 5 health. And he's going to go ahead and Dragon Dance this time around. So the beauty about this is I know he does not outspeed my Infernape because Dragon Dance only increases speed by 1 stage. Infernape's holding a Choice Scarf and I outsped it. So I know he does not outspeed Infernape. He's going to go ahead and switch Haxorus out, not wanting to lose it just yet. And he's going to bring Altaria back in. Altaria is going to come in resisting my Infernape's close combat because of its flying typing, and even though it resists it, that still did a very considerable amount of damage. However, that's not enough that I can keep Infernape in. I'm going to have to switch Infernape out. I don't want to lose Infernape. The only Pokemon I can think to bring in at this point is Celebi. So I'm going to bring Celebi in and maybe take whatever this thing's coming out. Hopefully he doesn't Dragon Dance and try and set up, because Dragon Dance Altaria is a thing. So he's going to Mega Evolve. I was right that this is the Mega Pokemon. And he's going to go ahead and go for the Moon Blast. And Celebi, thankfully, is just going to take it. So I kind of lucked out there, because I was really iffy. I'm really iffy on Celebi, because Celebi it's a Pokemon that can be important because of its typing, because of its move library. I don't know if I have anything that can bring Altaria down. So I'm going to go ahead and go for the Z move, the Shattered Psyche. I usually want to go for a Nasty Plot, but he's got no real reason to switch out Altaria on a Celebi. He could keep it in. So I figured no guts, no glory. Let's go for the kill, and let's see if Shattered Psyche does the job here without a Nasty Plot. And I'm not sure if it would have, because Altaria can be kind of bulky. Luckily enough, Shattered Psyche knocking Altaria right out of the match, giving me a much-needed break there. He's going to go ahead and bring in Lucario. And this is another Pokemon you got to watch out for, because Lucario has good attack and special attack stats. It could be either or. I'm going to go for the Hidden Power Fire. That's right, I made the switch. And it's going to deal a very good amount of damage to Lucario, but sadly it does not put it lower than Orange. And Ice Punch is going to knock my Celebi out of the match. So once again, we're still Pokemon for Pokemon. And I'm going to go ahead and bring in my Tenacious Bee and its Picks of Destiny, Mega Beedrill, and we're going to Mega Evolve and see if I can just Drill Run this Lucario out. Because, Hopefully he doesn't know Extreme Speed or Vacuum Wave, even though I don't think they would take Mega Beedrill out. His defenses are still just beyond paper, and I don't want heavy damage on him right now. So he's going to keep it in. Luckily enough, not going for the Extreme Speed, not going for the Vacuum Wave, and Drill Run is going to knock out Lucario. So I caught another break there. And again, like I said, we're just Pokemon for Pokemon right now. He's going to bring in that Scizor. I don't want to keep Mega Beedrill in against this because from past experience, I know a banded Scizor's Bullet Punch will OHKO a Beedrill. I'm not losing Beedrill just yet. I need Beedrill. I need to keep him healthy. I'm going to bring in Infernape, and hopefully this Bullet Punch doesn't do too much damage here. Bullet Punch actually doing a very considerable amount of damage, but nothing that I had to be too worried about. And I know he's going to switch because he does not want to lose Scizor just yet. Scizor is his best offensive answer to most of my team. He's going to bring in Haxorus. I don't have Stealth Rocks up. Notice I just noticed I didn't do Entry Hazards this match. And no Stealth Rocks up, but Flare Blitz is going to go ahead and take Haxorus out of the match with that much HP. So now I'm kind of thinking I got the match here. He's got Galvantula left. He's got Scizor left. Both Pokemon are weak to fire. But you also got to watch out because that recoil damage from Flare Blitz can seal the deal for you. It can be Flare Blitz is just a double-edged sword. You have to be careful when using it. I'm going to Flare Blitz the Galvantula, thinking I'm not going to take too much recoil damage that I got to worry about a Bullet Punch. And Flare Blitz is going to knock Galvantula out of the match with that health. And the recoil damage on from Flare Blitz to Infernape thankfully doesn't put it lower than orange. And I needed to be careful there because Scizor's Bullet Punch is devastating. Any lower, if that Galvantula was at full health, I guarantee you the recoil damage would have put me in range of a Bullet Punch. But it didn't, and he's going to go ahead and Bullet Punch, hoping for the critical hit. Luckily enough, no crit, putting Infernape at 11 health, and Flare Blitz is going to knock Scizor right out of the match, netting me the win and sweeping the rest of his team with Infernape. So like I said, Infernape is a force to be reckoned with. You have to just use him right, and there are many freaking ways to use him. Good game. Sebstrzz+Ryu. I'm always looking forward to battling you next, man. Good game, though, bro. That was a very good match. Moving on to the next battle, another UU battle, or another battle with Ryu. This is Ryu's first UU battle, so he was actually very nervous about it, but he did extremely well. So Ryu, if you're watching this, you did badass, man. You did an awesome job. So just to give you guys a heads up, this is a very, very good battle, but it's also a very long battle. This battle's lengthy. So just for those of you that don't like long battles, stop watching right now, because even though this battle's amazing, at least for me, it was long. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with Infernape. He's going to lead with his Scizor, putting himself in a bad position right at the start of the match. That is not a place you want to be. But I knew he was going to switch. He doesn't want to lose Scizor. Scizor is an important offensive force on any team. So I know he's going to switch. I'm going to go ahead and go for the U-turn as he brings in Melodic, using that pivot tempo to bring Blissey in. And remember, I said Blissey will always have a special place in my heart. She's an awesome special defensive wall. And for those of you that are wondering, this Blissey is 252 HP, 252 defense, with the remaining 4, I think, in defense, which that's not going to matter. Blissey's defensive stat is not the best to begin with. So she's going to switch, going in with Scizor, or he's going to switch, going for Scizor, I'm going to Toxic, but Toxic does not affect Scizor. It's moments like that I wish I had Thunder Wave. I mean, Toxic is the preferred move, but Thunder Wave is just awesome. I'm going to bring in Hippowdon, and look at this, guys. He sees the switch coming, and take a look at the awesomeness that is Choice Banded Scizor. U-turn, doing a good chunk of damage to my Hippowdon. That is a good chunk of health right there. 60 points of damage that I just lost from a U-turn. And that's because I think U-turn is also affected by Technician. So that's just awesome. Scizor is just awesome. He's going to use that pivot tempo, use that momentum to bring in Melodic, and now I'm the one in a bad position here. I don't want to take a Scald to the face because that'll do a crap ton of damage with this. With Hippowdon being this low, that's at least a 2-KO. If he gets a crit, it might OHKO with that amount of health. So I'm going to switch out. I don't want to lose Hippowdon, and I'm going to go back into Blissey and just play it safe. And luckily enough, Blissey's going to come in, and he's going to go ahead and go for the Toxic. I'm okay with this. Blissey's ability is Natural Cure. What that means is any status element Blissey has, it gets cured once you switch out. So it's a nice little nifty ability that is for good Pokemon like Blissey. And Blissey's also probably the best Cleric in the game next to Chansey. But I'm okay with that Toxic. That Toxic is not going to affect Blissey whatsoever. I know that he's probably going to switch, and I also know that I need to switch. And I want to get the upper hand back here. As you can see, guys, we're kind of just going back and forth here. Back and forth, trying to get the advantage over each other. Switching, using pivot tempo, trying to catch a break, trying to get some momentum on either side, and it's just shifting back and forth. He's going to go back into Scizor, and I'm going to go back into Infernape because I figured he would go with Scizor, but I wasn't quite sure. And even then, Infernape is my freaking U-turner, so I could pivot into something that could give me an advantage back. But luckily, he went back into Scizor, putting himself at a disadvantage, and he's going to switch Scizor out, thinking I'm going to go with a Flare Blitz or a U-turn. And luckily enough, I knew he was going to go back into Melodic, so I mentioned that my Infernape has Thunder Punch, and Thunder Punch dealing a crap ton of damage to that Melodic. Sadly, I do not take it out of the match, but I'm okay with putting it that low in health because now he has to switch out. He can't lose Melodic just yet, and my Thunder Punch is going to take it out of the match if he keeps it in. So I know he's going to switch. I should have switched myself, but I said screw it. Let's keep Infernape in. Let's see what he switches into, and let's see how well it takes a Thunder Punch. So he's gonna switch Melodic back out, going into his Mega Aggron, or it's an Aggron right now, but he'll Mega Evolve it. And Thunder Punch is not going to do anything at all to Mega Aggron. Mega Aggron just laughs at it. And that's pretty much it right there. So that was some momentum that I got on my side of the table. He's going to switch into Mega Aggron. I'm going to go ahead and go into my defensive wall, and I'm going to use this opportunity to set up my Stealth Rocks and to get some health back on Hippowdon because I don't like Hippowdon being that low. And this is just, I felt the perfect opportunity to heal up Hippowdon. He's going to Mega Evolve and go right away for the aggressive move and Earthquake, which Earthquake is not going to do anything to Hippowdon. So I don't got to worry too much about losing Hippowdon here. Yeah, I'm at like about 50% health. Leftovers is going to put me back up, but I'm free to slack off, and then I can set up my entry hazards because I know he's going to want to set up his own entry hazards as well. Because all this switching and all this use of pivot tempo, we got to make it to where we're paying for it. He's going to go ahead and get his entry hazards up. I'm going to go ahead and use this opportunity to slack off, though. I probably should have gone for the Stealth Rock first, but nah, my health was too low. I didn't want to risk it. I'm going to slack off and just, better safe than sorry. So I'm going to restore my health, putting Hippowdon all the way back up. And now I'm going to use this opportunity to set up Stealth Rocks. He's going to switch, going back into Melodic, and I'm okay with that. I probably should have kept Hippowdon in, but I'm gonna switch after this. But I think I could have kept Hippowdon in because at that low health, maybe an Earthquake would do the job. But I'm not quite sure. Melodic is kind of a solid wall, but it does have the ability to where when it gets hit with a status inducer, its defenses get buffed, or is it special defense? It's one or the other. Please clarify. I can't remember if it's both or just one or the other. But anyways, he's going to switch out Melodic, knowing I'm going to switch, which I am, because I did not see a Rapid Spinner or a Defogger on his team. But I have Starmie, and I'm going to use this opportunity to maybe Rapid Spin his entry hazards away and keep the stones on his side. So now it's Starmie against Aggron, against Mega Aggron at that. And that health is high. I'm hoping that a nuke of a Z move will do the job here. I don't use the Z move ever. I've hardly ever seen it used myself. I'm going to go with the Hydro Vortex and see what it does. And hopefully it'll just put Aggron out of the match, and then I can maybe Rapid Spin away the entry hazards with whatever he brings in. But, I mean, I know that Starmie's special attack, because my Starmie's timid, so I know its special attack isn't the best. But I also know that Mega Aggron's special defense is not the best as well. And Hydro Vortex not taking out of the match, leaving it alive with like maybe 4 or 5 health, if that. But I thought it was 1 health. Just by the look of it, it just seemed like it was maybe right at 1. So I'm going to go for the Rapid Spin and think I can take it out. Because, I mean, I guess I didn't look hard enough. But Rapid Spin is going to get rid of the entry hazards and leave it with like a few health left. So that kind of screwed me over because I'm going to lose Starmie here, and that's going to put Ryu up a Pokemon, netting him first blood and giving him some much-needed momentum. Now I got to make up for lost ground, and I got to get the momentum back on my side of the table, which that's easily done. Mega Aggron's weak, and it can't recover any HP because it doesn't know any recovery move. I'm going to go ahead and U-turn, getting some pivot tempo, knocking his Mega out of the match, and that'll just kind of put the momentum not even on my side of the table. It kind of just evened it out. So even right when he was getting some momentum going, I was able to even it right out. And I'm going to go ahead and go in with Scizor. He's going to bring because I U-turn, he's going to take the advantage of bringing his own Infernape in. And now I'm the one who's, again, at a disadvantage, although he's got Stealth Rocks. He's got entry hazards he has to worry about. I don't. I got rid of them. He's going to switch Infernape out, knowing I'm going to switch. And I should have gone for the knockoff or the U-turn,
but I didn't want to risk it. I did not want to risk leaving Scizor in and losing him. I just couldn't. So I switched out, and I'm going to bring in Hippowdon, even against his Melodic. But at this health, I think I can take a Scald, or whatever he's going to bring at me. Hopefully, though, he does not go for the Recover, which I'm surprised he didn't, because Melodic knows Recover. He could have taken this opportunity to put Melodic back at safe health, and just that would have just made this next turn moot. He's going to Scald, and hopefully he does not get the burn on Hippowdon, and luckily enough, after doing a crap ton of damage, he does not get the burn, and I'm going to Earthquake to knock this Melodic out of the match, putting one of those freaking walls down. And actually, that's both of his walls. Mega Gron is out of the match. Melodic is out of the match. The walls of Jericho are down. My offensive Pokemon can come in and just clean house whenever they need to. I still got both of my walls up, so I'm in the better position here. He's going to bring in Ducidi, who is the ghost grass type. Look, I got it right this time. And I know Ducidi can hit really freaking hard. And at this health, I don't want to lose Hippowdon. I know it'll take Hippowdon out if I get hit with the Leaf Blade. And I'm going to bring in Scizor because I know that Ducidi can't really do anything at all to Scizor. And sure enough, he goes for the Leaf Blade. Scizor resists it all around with both of its typings. And Leaf Blade is not going to do much of anything to Scizor. So I know he's going to switch at this point. He's got to. This is where keeping Pursuit on Scizor would have been, that would have been awesome. Sadly, though, as I said, I got rid of Pursuit. He's going to bring in his own Scizor, and I'm going to go for the U-turn, which I probably could have gone for the knockoff. I probably should have gone for the knockoff because that would have gotten rid of his Scizor's Choice Band, and that just breaks the set. It really does. And look at that. U-turn from my Scizor doing a very considerable amount of damage to his, and I'm going to use this momentum. I'm going to use this pivot tempo to bring in my own Infernape, putting him back at square one. And I'm going to go for the kill at this point because, I mean, I know he's got stuff that still kind of resists my Infernape. He's going to go for the Bullet Punch, thinking maybe I was going to switch, or I'm not sure. I don't know. But he went for the Bullet Punch, doing a very considerable amount of damage, and I'm going to Flare Blitz to knock this Scizor right out of the match, giving me some more much-needed momentum here. And now he's down 3 Pokemon. His walls are down. He lost Scizor. So the match is kind of leaning towards my side of the field. But you still got to be careful because he's got Hydreigon. He's got Ducidi. He's got Pokemon I got to worry about. I don't want to get Draco Meteor to the face, so I'm going to switch out here. Not sure what he was going to go for, and I'm going to bring in my Scizor. Sadly, though, he's going to take this opportunity to defog and get rid of my entry hazards, which sucked. I would have loved to keep those entry hazards because I want to wear his Pokemon down with all the switching we're doing, with all this pivot tempo, because he still has Pokemon that know U-turn. Hydreigon learns U-turn, for crying out loud. So, and he's still got his Infernape, who's also a pivot tempo user. So he's got pivot tempo still to this point in the match. I'm going to Bullet Punch, thinking he was maybe going to switch or U-turn, and sadly, though, that is not the case. He's going to keep his Infernape in, and I should have switched. I should have done anything besides what I did. I'm hoping Fire Blast misses, but sadly it does not. And this is, I mean, it still could be a Choice Scarfed Infernape because I've only seen it use one move. It's only used Fire Blast, and he took my Scizor out. I'm going to bring in Hippowdon with, at this HP, should be able to comfortably take a Fire Blast, or at least so I thought. Because I don't think, if it's Blaze, oh no, yeah, Blaze is surely up. So I don't know if Hippowdon could have taken this Fire Blast. But I switched out, getting the Sand Up, going into my Mega Aerodactyl, because with the Sand Up, and Mega Aerodactyl's a rock type, its special defense has been boosted. But lo and behold, this is not a Choice Banded, a Choice Specs, or a Choice Scarfed Infernape. It is holding on to the Fighting MZ to hit my Aerodactyl with all-out pummeling. It is, I believe, the Nasty Plot Infernape. Even though he didn't get a Nasty Plot off, this all-out pummeling is going to hurt. And it really sucks. Even though the sand is up, I'm hoping Aerodactyl can just take it and I can Mega Evolve and clean house. Sadly, I lose Mega Aerodactyl without even getting the chance to Mega Evolve because of a critical hit. And that is going to take Mega Aerodactyl out of the match and losing my very, very important offensive sweeper in the game. That might have been the turning point right here. Now we're 3 Pokemon on 3 Pokemon, which now Fire Blast misses, and I'm going to slack off with Hippodon to get its health back in a more comfortable place. And my Sandstream, the Sandstorm, is going to buffet Infernape in the face, taking it out of the match. As you can see, from my opponent's standpoint and my own, we can just, anybody can just see how awesome Infernape is, how versatile it is. It is just so versatile. And in my opinion, one of the most versatile Pokemon in the UU tier, if not the most. Infernape is just awesome. He's going to bring in his own Ducidi, and he's going to go for the U-turn. I was hoping, I mean, if he went for the Leaf Blade, he went for the Leaf Blade. Leaf Blade, my Hippodon can't really touch his Ducidi. All it knows is Earthquake, and that's not going to do anything to it because it's a grass type. He's going to bring in a Hydreigon, and I go for the Roar, not knowing what the heck to go for. So I went for the Roar, but I'm going to change Roar out. Roar is definitely going to become toxic, and I'll probably give Blissey Thunderwave if I'm going to use this team again. If I'm going to use this team in the future, I'll give Blissey Thunderwave, and Hippodon will be my toxic user. So I really shouldn't be saying my strategies online, but oh well. I mean, oh well. If you freaking battle me and come prepared, good for you. Leaf Blade is going to take my Hippodon out of the match. And that's because he's a defensive wall. He did not like that Leaf Blade one bit. So now we're both at 2 Pokemon. His Ducidi, my Hydreigon. All I have left is Blissey and Infernape. I did not know if he was going to keep it in or not because Ducidi does learn Sucker Punch, I think. And instead, I just said no guts, no glory, and I went for the U-turn. I should have gone for the close combat because had I gone for the close combat, that would have been game. Close combat would have taken out Hydreigon. And he would have brought in Ducidi. I would have switched into Blissey, losing Blissey, and then Infernape would have came back in for the win. But it does not play out that way, sadly. Sadly, it does not play out that way. But this is a very good freaking battle. I love battles like this. Me and Ryu were both just sweating this entire match. U-turn on Hydreigon, and that deals a crap ton of damage to Blissey, who does not like physical attacks. Ducidi is going to come in, and at this point in the match, I really don't know what to do. I can't Seismic Toss. Ducidi is a ghost type. Seismic Toss would not have done anything to it. I'm going to go. I went ahead and went for the Toxic. I was hoping he kept that Hydreigon in because I would have loved to have poisoned it. But I knew he was going to U-turn because Hydreigon's a special attacker, and outside of U-turn, it can't really do anything at all to Blissey. If he used Draco Meteor or anything else, Blissey would have just laughed at it. So I knew he was probably going to U-turn. But I didn't bring Infernape in because I wasn't sure if that would have done a considerable amount of damage. And I wasn't sure if Infernape would have just taked it. So I didn't want to risk because his health is already as low as it is. Leaf Blade is going to knock out my Blissey, and Ryu gains the upper hand here. Because now I have 1 Pokemon next to his 2. But I know Ducidi is poison. So I'm going to go for the Flare Blitz. And I'm going to knock his Ducidi right out of the match. So moment of truth right here. Because I know his Hydreigon is at low health. But is it at such low health? Because it resists Flare Blitz, is it at such low health that Flare Blitz would do the job? And me at 17 health, I'm probably going to get knocked out from the recoil. But at this point in the match, I wish Stealth Rocks were still up, or I wish I hit this freaking thing with a Toxic. Flare Blitz on Hydreigon is sadly not going to take it out of the match, leaving it up with like 5 or 6 health. And my recoil is going to knock Infernape out. Very, very awesome battle against Ryu. And very, very awesome breakdown of Infernape. If you guys want to battle me, hit me up, guys. Hit me up on YouTube. You have my social media sites. Join my Discord. Comment, rate, subscribe. Let us!